Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a Saturday stream. This is so weird. I actually have a Saturday off this week, so I figured we'd have a little stream. Before we get to the main part of the stream, we gotta play some games. We gotta play a couple games first. But yeah, if you did see on my Go Live notification or the title or whatever, I will be reading today. We're bringing back the reading streams. Because about a year ago, I started reading Frankenstein. That took a couple months, and I haven't really read on stream since then, I don't think. So I thought I'd bring back reading streams because I do want to read more in general in my life, and streaming is always a great way to force me to do things. So, yeah. Nope, wrong window. So let's play some games. There we go. So I was already playing this morning. So I think I've got some stuff ready, and I finally expanded my boutique. So that's fun. Oh no, what's this? I love how much these games crash. It's like my favorite. It's fine. Dress goes over here. Shoes. Everything has proper place where it goes. Okay. Do I want to order? I could probably just do a bunch more 2-hour things. Now that I'm home and can actually claim them, usually I'll set it to like basically basically I have to plan like the next time I'm going to be sitting down at my my desk because I don't play this on my actual phone. So it'll be like before work, I'll set stuff for like 10, 12 hours, and then after work I can play more games, and then I'll set them for overnight. Very normal. Oh, okay. I guess restaurant time. I might honestly make myself a tea at some point. That sounds good. I guess I'll make some mushrooms. Oh, okay. Just know I'm not clicking the back button, it just crashes on me. Which is lovely. Okay. Sometimes that helps. Please, I just want to set some clothes. Just want to order some clothes really quick. Oh my god. Please? Jesus Christ. It's a great game. It's a great game. You have to believe me. I'm looking for this one, 15 hours. What's 15 hours from now? Like 5 a.m.? 18 hours, even better. So these will hopefully be ready tomorrow morning? Okay. Now, do I have enough money to redecorate? What floor do I have? I think it's this. Yeah. I am curious, like, because you can still pay actual money for this game. If there, I don't know if there's still like a team that works on it. Because, I mean, there are kind of updates. There's like new quests all the time, but I don't know if those are like automatically. Oh, I don't have enough coins. Awesome. I don't know if those are like automatically like time of year based because there's always like Christmas themed quests and everything. So I'm very curious if there's like an actual team that is still working on like developing quests and stuff, or if they ever consider like making the game slightly better in any way. Okay. Well, I can. Okay. Did that save any of my changes? Okay, yes. I want to space out the areas I have here. Means I can potentially get another rack maybe somewhere. think this one I'll probably just end up bringing down here. That's okay for now, I think. Let's check on my bakery. I'm trying to complete quests, and the quest I'm working on right now serve 16 snowy frosty cakes, 15 winter macaroons, and 14 pecan pies. So I still need quite a bit. Cool. Okay, I need one more cake and maybe some pies. Where is pecan pie? 4 hours. There's also another part to this, isn't there? No. Okay. Awesome. I have so many winter macaroons. Beautiful. Okay. I think that's all for those games. Now, I was also thinking we could do some daily games. Wordle. And if you like Wordle or other daily games, there is a channel in my Discord where we play these. So you could join the Discord and also play word games. There it is. Join the Discord. Let's see. Ooh, should I use my normal starting word? I don't know if I've shared my starting word. I don't think I've played Wordle on stream. But yeah, you can also see everyone else play in. Okay, this is my normal starting word. We're just going for it. Not a great start. Okay. Um, could it be like mango? Except there's no O, but that's not a bad. Oh, okay. Man. Manly. Man. Manis. I don't think that's a word. Manic is. Manic. Like my favorite Sonic character. Let's go. Okay. Couple other daily ones. MetaZoo. So we're basically guessing an animal, and it'll tell you like the order and the suborder and the family and everything. It's a taxonomic rank guessing game. So start with goat. Also, they don't have like very specific ones, like Addex isn't in there, but like goat is. I do understand how that would be literally impossible. So it also tells me a little bit about the suborder and everything, and it tells you what your guess has in common with the guess with the correct animal. So it is a mammal, but it probably isn't the even-toed ungulates. It could be any of the other ones. So it could be like part of the carnivore. Nope, not that one. Oh, I forgot goat and deer in the same thing. Deer is not a good guess for that. Unless it's the same one I did the other day. Shouldn't be. Oh god, what is it? Okay, this is the same one I did the other day actually. But that's kind of the same thing I did the other day. It doesn't it resets at a really weird time. Animal 894. Yeah. I don't know when this one resets. Oh, in an hour. There's, I guess, also Metaflora, which I've never tried. I don't know anything about plants. Um, Carrot? Okay. so, so not great. Let's go for more flowers. Sycamore, why not? Okay. That would be a tree. I guess that doesn't count. Um, Daffodil. Okay. What other plants are there? Hyacinth. Okay. Maybe I need to think closer to a carrot. Okay. Try like a herb or something. Nope. It's not helping. Guess it kind of is. Okay, what's close to, like, a carrot and herbs? We'll just guess more herbs. Okay, not a herb. I feel like potato is not gonna help. Okay. Um, where does an onion fit into this? Hey, Zircon. Oh, okay. Hey, Zircon, we're trying to guess a plant. A plant that's close to a carrot. Just trying to find the plant, and there's about 80,000 species to choose from. It's fine. Okay, a little too close to a carrot, but we're getting there. So something that's like a carrot and a potato and herbs, but not. Maybe we need to try a different direction. You were right, it's very close to carrot. Um, God. What other plants do I know? I guess we haven't tried a fruit. Where does fruit fit in here? Like a strawberry. Let's just try a berry. Okay. Little bit away, little bit away. Um, God. I mean, can I just click on Wikipedia's link? Okay, this is just cheating, I'm sure, but like I don't know what any of these means. Dogbane family? The hell? I don't think Dogbane is gonna give me anything. Is rhubarb here? Rubber? Where's rubber? Sure. Um, okay, well, this isn't very helpful. Monkey rope. Does it have that? No. Almond. Let's just let's just see. Okay. Melon. Fuck it. Where's melon fit in? We're making a very wide tree here. Uh, know what that is. Feel like this is not helping. Milkweed? Do they have milkweed? They have chamomile. Okay. We're kind of close with. Well, I guess we'd have to be kind of close. Do they have, like, this? No. Ooh, like a trumpet flower? Oh, God. Easter lily vine, maybe? Tiger lily. Yeah, fuck it. Nope. I don't think pomegranate is gonna be it. This is so hard. Okay, what are any of these? Hypopolus. Anything? Time. Fuck it. Gonna be in the same place as Sage and. Okay. Yeah. Oh my god. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Water roots? Nope. Forget me not. I'm just using up all the guesses. What the hell is this? Never seen that before in my life. Carrion plant or toad plant? Tomato. I'm just guessing anything. Oh, okay, that was way off. We have 4 guesses remaining. I don't think it's gonna be a cactus. Should I just guess cactus? We're not too far off, but axe flowers? Holly. There's just so many asterisks. It just could be so many things. Lettuce? Okay, so it's this one, but it's not that or lamids. Wait, then what the fuck is it? Is it this? Cranberry? Oh, oh. Okay, wait, we're getting. We got it! It's a cranberry! We won! This is great. Oh, wow, that was rough. 25 guesses, it's fine. So that's a fun one. Other wordles. We've got Colordle, which you guess the hex code, which is really fun. So I vaguely know how hex codes are kind of written because of this one. It's loosely every 2 numbers represents RGB, so red, green, blue, and the higher the number, the more of that color is in it, and it like timeses itself. So this one's pretty high in red. Yeah, like that. Probably. See, like, that's pretty close. Guess really high in red. See? Yeah, a little bit. Speed. I think this. I see. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Wasted a C there by accident. There we go. Beautiful. I think those are the main ones. The mains ones? The main ones that I play sometimes. Ugh. Sorry. Now, I think on to our main event. And I did get set up beforehand and then realize, oh, I wanted to play word games on the start of stream. So now I have to kind of get reset up. So if you give me a minute, I am going to set up. And I think I'm also going to make myself a tea. Okay, I think I'm ready. My tea is brewing. Welcome, everyone. I have decided to continue reading streams. Yay! I'm sure that's all your reactions. Thank you, thank you. So about a year ago, I think maybe in February, I started reading Frankenstein on stream. And I haven't really read on stream since, I don't think. And you can kind of call it New Year's resolution or just kind of I don't know. I never have like specific resolutions. It's just kind of in general like there's always things I want to do. And January, I'm finally done my project, so I finally have time to like sit down. And I've been trying to just be better in general. That's the whole point of New Year's resolution. Hey Navy. Um so I want to read more in general. I have like a hankering for reading. It's not just to like, oh, I should read more. It's just like there are books I really want to read in the same way of like their games I want to play kind of thing. So, yeah, we are reading the Odyssey because I've been really wanting to read it. I may have gotten into Epic the Musical a little bit a couple months ago. I have read most of the Iliad. Odyssey takes place before the Iliad, doesn't it? Oh no, the Iliad comes before the Odyssey. Okay, here's a question. Should I read the Iliad first for you guys? That's a great question. It's not going to matter that much. I've already read the Iliad personally. I'd be totally down to read it again. I don't know. I'm kind of focused on Odyssey though. Hope you guys don't mind. We're gonna start with the part two. The story is it doesn't really matter. The Iliad ends with the Trojan War, where the Odyssey starts with the end of the Trojan War. But the war isn't really the main focus. It's like everything else, you know? I don't know if you've ever I'm sure you vaguely at least know of the story. Um, and they also follow different characters, at least the main characters. Like they're repeating names, whatever. Um, yeah, I want to get back into reading. I, on my own, finally finished a book I have been reading for quite a while now, and I was just like literally had the last chapter or two to finish. It's called Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Really good book. Um, I'll have to grab the second one of that at some point. Yeah, finally finished that. I just, in general, I want to get back into like reading and away from. I want to stop using TikTok, so I'm trying to fill. I'm trying to reroute my brain to like when you have downtime, maybe pick up a book instead of scrolling. You know, we're trying. um, but I do also want to post on TikTok as well every now and then. So it's not like cold turkey, but it is like there are things that I can tell scrolling is affecting. Anyway, so I finished Vicious, really good book. Um, it's kind of hard to explain, but I was talking to Callum about it the other day too when I was finishing it, and I've been reading this book for like a year, and they mentioned how it's kind of a retelling of Frankenstein. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a Frankenstein story. One of the main characters' name is Victor. The other one's name is Eli. And they are like college roommates, whatever, and they are trying to basically create like a superhuman version of themselves. And the more I describe this, the more I'm like, of course this is Frankenstein. But this is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I can show you guys. Also, yeah, let's go to my setup, shall we? My setup. Oh, she's a little laggy. Three frames a second. Not that it matters. Maybe I'll redo. This may or may not have been kind of technically recording in the background while I was setting up and playing Wordle. Oh, that's better. Okay. So hi everyone. This is the book I just finished. This is my setup. I may be using my phone to do this because it's better than my actual camera. I'll show you. This is what my camera. Oh, well. This is what my camera would have looked like, which when you're reading, it doesn't like focus properly as well. So this is much better. And I'm just kind of hoping it's like big enough you guys can kind of follow along. It's also way better than how I did Frankenstein, I think, where I had it pulled up and the book, where I had to keep switching in between. It was kind of annoying. But yeah, this is the book I just finished. So Victor and Eli set out to create better versions of themselves, and by doing that, they have to like basically kill themselves, but then like revive at the last second, and you get powers. And then one of them, they both go crazy in different ways, which I think is really good. I've noticed a trend in books that I like to read is like powers are the main thing and they're always very weird, but not in like a superhero way. In like a one of the guys thinks that this is so wrong and needs to kill everyone else that could have this power as well, and the other one spends 10 years planning to kill the other guy. Victor spends 10 years like he's in jail and stuff, and he is just planning to kill Eli. So it is very reminiscent of Frankenstein, but it's done really well, I think. So I'll have to get the second one. I could read it on stream as well, but it was really good. This one also has so much. My own headcanon is that these two are gay, but they're not actually in the story, but they are so like there's just some scenes where it's like, come on. There's just a bit of sexual tension between these two, and it's really good. Anyway, Slam, the Odyssey. This is one of my copies of the Odyssey. Really cute. Actually, let me turn on my. Yeah, my phone's charging now. This is one of my copies of the Odyssey. I also have like a chapters version. This one I got at a used bookstore. Look at this. Isn't that so nice? So I hope that's good for you guys to see. I think it's okay. It's not the best, but like we're just reading a book. Yeah, really good. Also got I have a nice copy of the Iliad. I don't have a nice copy of the Iliad, but I do have a fairly nice copy of, Ulysses. You but yeah, let's read the Odyssey, and my tea is probably ready, so I'm gonna go grab my tea, and I'll be right back again. Okay, I'm back. Navy, I wanna see the copies you're talking. There's so many nice copies, honestly. There's actually some really nice copies of the book I was just showing you, Vicious. Camera's laggy again, but that's fine. £36 for both? I don't know the conversion, but that does not sound bad. Can't find the specific cover. I think some nice cover there. 68 for $2. That's not bad. This book itself was $30, I think. I don't know. Books in general are so expensive. They're at like books are usually like 20, $25. To be fair, Nightshade, we were doing some Wordle games, but we are reading the Odyssey. And I've got my tea and I've got my camera set up. It's really laggy, but that's fine. It's not like there's anything fast pace happening here. Thank you. This is my phone that's kind of on almost a it's basically on like a Zoom call that I don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Um yeah. Should I get some like thematic music going as well? Do you guys want music? Oh yeah, what you have like a I can't remember what capture card you have. But I do have a camera, but my camera's not very good for this. My camera's just not good. Okay? I bought one camera ever. Ah, damn. Also, I've changed to title from Spotify. Um, and it's really hard finding playlists. Like you can't find other people's playlists. Or maybe there's just not that many people on title. But like all the playlists I can find were made by title. This one's called Clip It. What is that? Searching for the perfect soundtrack to your 360 no scopes? These bangers have you covered. Okay. Um, I've gotta get the right music when I'm reading. Do you guys care about music for reading streams? For any VOD, VODs don't have any of my music with them, so I'm not too worried, but I could play that. Does this have San Fermin? Let's just play San Fermin. That doesn't sound bad. Honestly, yeah, let's YouTube will have a better thing. Music of Ancient Greece, Sleep Study Meditation. Can you hear that? That doesn't look like it's playing. There it is. Actually, no. I'm gonna find something else. This brings me right back to 300 BCE, good old times. Ooh, what other book should you get? You could get, if you're thinking in the same vein, um, Ovid's Metamorphosis if they have it, or Ulysses. What else do I have on my shelf? You get some Shakespeare books. Okay, my tea is still too hot. It's okay. I have peppermint tea. I put some honey in there, actually. That would've been. Do I go upstairs and get honey? One sec. Let me get honey. Okay, now are we ready to start reading the Odyssey? I think so. Just again, look at this cover. A feature alligator tank. Well, this can be background noise for your alligators. Homer the Odyssey by Robert Fitzgerald. At least the translation. The Franklin Library from Pennsylvania. I don't know how I got this copy. It's from a thrift bookstore. There's a map. Oh, yeah. It's really funny. So let's see if this goes any. So basically, the story of Odyssey in general is after Battle of Troy. Uh, it's basically just him traveling for like 20 years ish, 18 years ish from Troy, fights a bunch of shit, back to Ithaca. Which, if you're really looking at it, he just took a wrong turn somewhere. He took a lot of wrong turns, okay? We'll just say that. Let's get into it. The goddess intervenes. World's worst road trip. Especially since it wasn't on a road, it was mainly in a ship. Sing in me, muse, and through me tell the story that man skilled in all ways of contending, the wanderer harried for years on end after he plundered the stronghold on the proud height of Troy. He saw the townlands and learned the minds of many distant men, and weathered many bitter nights and days in his deep heart at sea, while he fought only to save his life, to bring his shipmates home. But not by will nor valor could he save them, for their own recklessness destroyed them all. Children and fools they killed and feasted on, the cattle of Lord Helios the sun, and he who moves all day through heaven took from their eyes the dawn of their return. Of these adventurers, Muse, daughter of Zeus, tell us in our time, lift the great song again. Begin when all the rest who left behind them, headlong death in battle or at sea, had long ago returned, while he alone still hungered for home and wife. Her ladyship, Calypso, clung to him, her sea-hollowed caves, gave so much to the lords of open sky. This'll Only the god who laps the land and water, Poseidon, bears the fighter an old grudge, since he poked out the eye of Polyphemus, brawniest of the Cyclops, who bore the giant Lout. Thusa, daughter of Orches, an offshore sea lord, for this nymph had lain with Lord Poseidon in her hollow caves. Naturally, the god, after the blinding, mind you, he does not kill the man, he only buffets him away from home. But come now, we are all at leisure here. Let us take up this matter of his return. How shall he sail? Poseidon must relent, for being quarrelsome will get him nowhere. One god flouting the will of all gods. That's pretty good, maybe. The grey-eyed goddess Athena answered him, O Majesty, O Father of us all, if it now please the blissful gods that wise Odysseus reach his home again, let the wayfinder Hermes cross the sea to the island of Ogygia. Yeah, neither do I. My shelves are crazy. Let him tell our fixed intent to the nymph with pretty braids, and let the steadfast man depart for home. For my part, I shall visit Ithaca to put more courage in the son and rouse him to call an assembly of the islanders. Achaean gentleman with flowing hair, he must warn off that wolf pack of the suitors who prey upon his flocks and dusty cattle. I'll send him to the mainland then, to Sparta, by the sand beach of Pylos. Let him find news of his dear father, where he may win his own renown about the world. She bent to tie her beautiful sandals on, ambrosial golden, that carry her over water, or over endless land on the wings of the wind, and took the great haft of her spear in hand, that bronze-showed spear this child of power can use to break in wrath long battle lines of fighters. Flashing down from Olympos' height, she went to stand in Ithaca, before the manor, just at the doorsill of the court. She seemed a family friend, the Taffin Captain Mentees, waiting. With a light hand on her spear, before her eyes she found the lusty suitors casting dice out inside the gate, at ease on hides of oxen they had killed. Their own retainers made a busy sight, with houseboys mixing bowls of water and wine, or sopping water up in sponges, wiping tables to be placed about in hall, or butchering the whole carcass for roasting. Long before anyone else, the prince Telemachus, yeah, now caught sight of Athena, for he too was sitting there, unhappy among the suitors. A boy daydreaming. What if his great father came from the unknown world and drove these men like dead leaves through the place, recovering honor and lordship in his own domains? Then he who dreamed in the crowd gazed out at Athena. Telemachus. I think that's how I said it. Straight to the door he came, irked with himself to thank a visitor he had been kept there waiting. He took her right hand, grasping with his left, her tall bronze blade spear, then he said warmly, Greetings, stranger. Welcome to our feast. There will be time to tell your errand later. He led the way, and Pallas Athena followed into the lofty hall. The boy reached up and thrust her spear high in a polished rack against a pillar, where tough spear on spear of the old soldier his father stood in order. Then, shaking out a splendid coverlet, he seated her on a throne with footrest, all finely carved, and drew his painted armchair near her, at a distance from the rest. To be amid the din, the suitors' riot would ruin his guest's appetite, he thought, and he wished privacy to ask for news about his father, gone for years. A maid brought them a silver finger bowl and filled it out of a beautiful spouting golden jug, then drew a polished table to their side. The larder mistress with her tray came by and served them generously. A carver lifted cuts of each roast meat to put on trenchers before the two. He gave them cups of gold, and these the steward, as he went his rounds, filled and filled again. Now came the suitors, young bloods troping in to their own seats on thrones or easy chairs. Attendants poured water over their fingers, while the maids piled baskets full of brown loaves near at hand, and houseboys brimmed the bowls with wine. Now they laid hands upon the ready feast, and thought of nothing more. Not till desire for food and drink had left them were they mindful of dance and song that are the grace of feasting. A herald gave a shapely cithern harp to Phimois, whom they compelled to sing, and what a storm he plucked upon the strings for prelude. High and clear the song arose. Oh, good. A message from primary sender J2QVUMTC3HD. Telemachus now spoke to a gray-eyed Athena. Sorry, that was an auto mod. It was like 2 in a row. What the hell? Telemachus now spoke to gray-eyed Athena, his head bent close so no one else might hear. Dear guest, will this offend you if I speak? It is easy for these men to like these things, harping and song. They have an easy life, scot-free, eating the livestock of another, a man whose bones are rotting somewhere now, white in the rain on dark earth where they lie, or tumbling in the ground swell of the sea. If he returned, if these men ever saw him, faster legs they'd pray for to a man. And not more wealth and handsome robes or gold. But he is lost, came to grief and perished, and there's no help for us in someone's hoping he still may come. That sun has long gone down, but tell me now, put it for me clearly, who are you? Where do you come from? Where's your home? And family, what kind of ship is yours? And what course brought you here? Who are your sailors? I don't suppose you walked here on the sea. Another thing, this too I ought to know. Is Ithaca new to you, or were you ever a guest here in the old days? Far and near, friends knew this house, for he whose home it was had much acquaintance in the world. The grey-eyed goddess answered, As you ask, I can account most clearly for myself. Mentes I am called, son of the veteran Anchials. I rule seafaring Taphos. I came by ship with a ship's company, sailing the wine-dark sea for ports of call on alien shores, to Temese for copper, bringing bright bars of iron in exchange. My ship is moored on a wind strip of coast in Rythrock Bight under the wooded mountain. Years back, my family and yours were friends, as Lord Laertes knows. Ask when you see him. I hear the old man comes to town no longer, stays up country, ailing, with only one old woman to prepare his meat and drink. When pain and stiffness take him in the legs from working on his Terran's plot, his vineyard. As for sailing here, the tale was that your father had come home, therefore I came. I see the gods delayed him. But never in this world is Odysseus dead, only detained somewhere on the wide sea, upon some island with wild islanders. Savages they must be to hold him captive. Well, I will forecast for you as the gods put the strong feeling in me. I see it all, and I'm no prophet, no adept in bird signs. He will not now be long away from Ithaca. His father's dear land, though he be in chains, he'll scheme a way to come. He can do anything. But tell me this now, make it clear to me. You must be, by your looks, Odysseus's boy? The way your head is shaped, the fine eyes, yes, how like him. We took meals like this together many a time before he sailed for Troy, with all the lords of Argos in the ships. I have not seen him since, nor has he seen me. And thoughtfully, Telemachus replied, Friend, let me put it in the plainest way. My mother says I am his son. I know not surely who has known his own engineering. I wish at least I had some happy man, his father, growing old in his own house. But unknown death and silence are the fate of him that since you ask they call my father. Then grey-eyed Athena said, The gods decreed no lack of honor in this generation. Such is the son Penelope bore in you. But tell me now, and make this clear to me, what gathering, what feast is this? Why here? A wedding, revel, at the expense of all? Not that, I think. How arrogant they seem, these gluttons, making free here in your house. A sensible man would blush to be among them. To this Telemachus answered, Friend, now that you ask about these matters, our house was always princely, a great house, as long as he of whom we speak remained here, but evil days the gods have brought upon it, making him vanish, as they have so strangely. Were his death known, I could not feel such pain. He had died of wounds in Trojan country, or in the arms of friends after the war. They would have made a tomb for him, the Achaeans, and I should have all honor as his son. Instead, the whirlwinds got him, and no glory. He's gone, no sign, no word of him, and I inherit trouble and tears. And not for him alone. The gods have laid such other burdens on me. For now the lords of the islands... There's some hard words in here. Dulcion and Seme, wooded Zacynthos, and rocky Ithaca's young lords as well, are here courting my mother, and they use our house as if it were a house to plunder. Spurn them she dare not, though she hates that marriage, nor can she bring herself to choose among them. Meanwhile they eat their way through all we have, and when they will, they can demolish me. I don't really know Greek. So sorry if I say the wrong word somehow. Hold on, I'm adjusting. It's a pretty good setup, but it's a little hard on my neck. Pallas Athena was disturbed and said, Ah, bitterly you need Odysseus then. High time you come back to engage these upstarts. I wish we saw him standing helmeted there in the doorway, holding shield and spear, looking the way he did when I first knew him. That was at our house, where he drank and feasted after he left Vera, homeward bound from a visit to the son of Hermeros. He took his fast ship down the gulf that time for a fatal drug to dip his arrows in a poison the bronze points. But young Elos turned him away, fearing the god's wrath. My father gave it, for he loved him well. I wish these men could meet the men of those days. They'd know their fortune quickly. Old bed. Aye, but it lies upon the god's great knees whether he can return and force a reckoning in his own house or not. Are you guys following along? Is this good setup-wise so far? Lag isn't that intrusive, I don't think. Hmm. Yeah, the main thing is this is kind of an audiobook. So, but also, did you want me to, like, explain what's happening? Is that important? Would that be helpful? Because loosely, the story follows Odysseus, right? But right now we're at his son, who has been like, "Oh, my father's been away for so long. We don't know if he's dead," and a bunch of people at other kingdoms are kind of vying for his mom Penelope. But obviously she doesn't really want to marry them. She's married to Odysseus, and Athena has come to visit Telemachus to kind of help him. Yeah, everyone always says that like old books like this and like Shakespeare and stuff are not that clear. And while they do take a lot more mental effort to understand, they are fairly clear. Like there's a reason they're classics. Anyway, definitely does read different than Shakespeare. I feel like Shakespeare's slightly harder to understand sometimes, but it's also written for a stage play, so that does change it. Anyway, I liked reading Shakespeare in class. It was really fun. That's fair. Were they also like stories or were they like I don't know. Maybe Homer's just got a really understandable writing style, you know? Also translation change how things are. It is kind of crazy that we continue to read stories from thousands of years ago. Like, what? Mhm. Okay. If I were you, I should take steps to make these men disperse. Listen now and attend to what I say. At daybreak, call the islanders to assemble and speak your will, and call the gods to witness. Suitors must go scattering to their homes. Then here's a course for you, if you agree. Get a sound craft afloat with 20 oars, and go abroad for news of your lost father. Perhaps a traveler's tale or rumored fame, issued from Zeus abroad in the world of men. Talk to that noble sage at Pylos, Nestor. Then go to Menelaos, the red-haired king, at Sparta, last man home of all the Achaeans. Stay a full year. You may learn he's alive and coming home, or else you may hear nothing, or learn he is dead, gone. If so, then you can come back to your own dear country and raise a mound for him and burn his gear, with all the funeral honors due the man. Give your mother to another husband. When you have done all this or seen it done, It will be time to ponder concerning these contenders in your house, how you should kill them, outright or by guile. You need not bear this insolence of theirs. You are a child no longer. Have you heard what glory young Orestes won when he cut down that two-faced man, Aegisthus, for killing his illustrious father? Dear friend, you are tall and well set up, I see. Be brave, you too, and in times to come we'll speak of you respectfully. Now I must join my ship. My crew will grumble if I keep them waiting. Look to yourself, remember what I told you. Telemachus replied, Friend, you have done me kindness like a father to his son, and I shall not forget your counsel ever. You must get back to sea, I know, but come take a hot bath and rest. Accept a gift to make your heart lift up when you embark. Some precious thing and beautiful from me, a keepsake, such as dear friends give their friends. But the grey-eyed goddess Athena answered him, Do not delay me, for I love the sea ways. As for the gift your heart is set on giving, let me accept it on my passage home. You shall have a choice gift in exchange. With this, Athena left him, as a bird rustles upward, off and gone. But as she went, she put new spirit in him, a new dream of his father, clearer now, so that he marveled to himself, divining that a god had been his guest. Then, godlike in his turn, he joined the suitors. My main question is, so Athena is posing as a mortal, basically, and kind of calls Athena father. So was Athena posing as a guy? I guess it doesn't really matter, but curious. The famous minstrel still sang on before them, and they sat still and listened while he sang that bitter song, the homecoming of Achaeans. Now by Athena's will they fared from. Yeah, that's my impression. And in her room, careful Penelope, Charos' daughter, heeded the holy song. She came, then, down the long stairs of her house, this beautiful lady with two maids in train, attending her as she approached the suitors. When near a pillar of the roof she paused, her shining veil drawn over across her cheeks, the two girls close to her and still, and through her tears spoke to the noble minstrel. Phemios, other spells you know, high deeds of gods and heroes, all the poets tell them. Let these men hear some other while they sit silent and drink their wine. But sing no more this bitter tale that wears my heart away. It opens in me again the wound of longing for one incomparable ever in my mind. His fame all Hellas knows, midland Argos. But Telemachus intervened and said to her, Mother, why do you grudge your own dear minstrel, joy of song, wherever his thought may lead? Poets are not to blame, but Zeus, who gives what fate he pleases to adventurous men. Here is no reason for reproof. To sing the news the Danae, then men like best a song that rings like morning on the ear. But you must nerve yourself and try to listen. Odysseus was not the only one at Troy, never to know the day of his homecoming. Others, how many others lost their lives? The lady gazed in wonder and withdrew, her son's clear wisdom echoing in her mind. But when she had mounted to her rooms again, her two handmaids, she fell to weeping. For Odysseus, her husband, grey-eyed Athena, presently cast a sweat sleep on her eyes. Meanwhile, the din grew loud in the shadowy hall, as every suitor swore to lie beside her. But Telemachus turned now and spoke to them. You suitors of my mother, insolent men, now we have dined. Let us have entertainment and no more shouting. There can be no pleasure so fair as giving heed to a great minstrel like ours, whose voice itself is pure delight. At daybreak we shall sit down in assembly, and I shall tell you. Take it as you will, you are to leave this hall. Go feasting elsewhere, consume your own stores. Turn and turn about, use one another's houses. You choose to slaughter one man's livestock and pay nothing. This is rapine. By the eternal gods, I beg Zeus, you shall get what you deserve. Slaughter here and nothing paid for it. By now their teeth seemed fixed in their upper lips. Telemachus, bold speaking, stunned them so. Antinos, Eputhine's son, made answer. Telemachus, no doubt the gods themselves are teaching you this high and mighty manner. Zeus forbid you should be king in Ithaca, though you are eligible as your father's son. Telemachus kept his head and answered him. Antinos, you may not like my answer, but I would happily be king if Zeus conferred the prize. Or do you think it wretched? I shouldn't call it bad at all. A king will be respected, and his house will flourish. But there are eligible men enough, heaven knows, on the island, young and old, and one of them perhaps may come to power after the death of King Odysseus. All I insist on is that I rule our house, rule the slaves my father won for me. The Eurymachus, Polybos' son, replied, Telemachus, it is on the gods' great knees who will be king in sea-girt Ithaca. But keep your property and rule your house, and let no man against your will make havoc of your possessions while there's life on Ithaca. But now, my brave young friend, a question or two about the stranger. Where did your guest come from? Of what country? Where does he was in disguise, say his home is, and his family? Has he some message of your father's coming? Or business of his own, asking a favor? He left so quickly that one hadn't time to meet him, but he seemed a gentleman. Telemachus made answer, cool enough. Eurymachus, there's no hope for my father. I would not trust a message if one came, nor any forecaster my mother invites, to tell by divination of time to come. My guest, however, was a family friend, Mentes, son of Achelous. He rules the Typhon people of the sea. So said Telemachus, though in his heart he knew his visitor had been immortal. Oh, but he saw through it. And now the suitors turned to play again with dance and haunting song. They stayed till nightfall. Indeed, black night came on them at their pleasure. Half asleep, they left, each for his home. Telemachus's bedroom was above the court, a kind of tower with a view all round. Here he retired to ponder in the silence, while carrying brands of pine alight beside him. The Euryclea went padding, sage and old. Her father had been Alps, Pisner's son, and she had been a purchase of Laertes when she was still a blossoming girl. What? He gave the price of 20 oxen for her, kept her as kindly in his house as his own wife, though for the sake of peace he never touched her. No servant loved Telemachus as she did, she who had nursed him in his infancy. So now she held the light as he swung open the door of his neat, freshly painted chamber. There he sat down, pulling his tunic off, and tossed it into the wise old woman's hand. She folded it and smoothed it, and then hung it beside the inlaid bed on a bar. Then, drawing the door shut by its silver handle, she slid the catch in place and went away. And all night long, wrapped in the finest fleece, he took in thought the course Athena had given him. Very descriptive about his nanny? Different time, different culture. A hero's son awakens. This one's got some fun pictures too. When primal dawn spread on the eastern sky her fingers of pink light, Odysseus's true son stood up, drew on his tunic and his mantle, slung on a sword belt and a new-edged sword, tied his smooth feet into good rawhide sandals, and left his room. The god's brilliance upon him. He found the criers with clarion voices and told them to muster the unshorn Achaeans in full assembly. The call sang out, and the men came streaming in. And when they filled the assembly ground, he entered, spear in hand, with two quick hounds at heel. Athena lavished on him a sunlit grace that held the eye of the multitude. Old men made way for him as he took his father's chair. Now Lord Agioptos, bent down and sage with years, opened the assembly. The man's son had served under the great Odysseus, gone in the decked ships with him to the wild horse country of Troy. A spearman and Cyclops by name. The ravenous Cyclops in the cave destroyed him, last in his feast of men. Spoilers. 3 other sons the old man had, and one, Eurynomos, went with the suitors, who farmed for their father. But even so the old man pined, remembering the absent one, and a tear welled up as he spoke. Hear me, Ithacans, hear what I have to say. No meeting has been held here since our king Odysseus left port in the deck ships. Who finds occasion for assembly now? One of the young men? One of the older lot? Has he had word our fighters are returning? News to report if he got wind of it? Or is it something else touching the realm? The man has vigor, I should say, more power to him. Whatever he desires, may Zeus fulfill it. The old man's words delighted the son of Odysseus, who kept his chair no longer but stood up, eager to speak in the midst of all the men. The crier, Pessanor, master of debate, brought him the staff and placed it on his hand. Then the boy touched the old man's shoulder and said, "No need to wonder any more, sir. Who called this session? The distress is mine. As to our troops returning, I have no news to report if I got wind of it. Nor have I public business to propose. Only my need and the trouble of my house, the troubles. My distinguished father is lost, who ruled among you once, mild as a father, and there is now this greater evil still. My home and all I have are being ruined. Mother wanted no suitors, but like a pack they came. Sons of the best men here among them, lads with no stomach for an introduction to Icaros, her father across the sea. He would require a wedding gift and give her to someone who found favor in her eyes. No, these men spend their days around our house, killing our beeves and sheep and fatted goats, perusing, soaking up our good dark wine, not caring what they do. They squander everything. We have no strong Odysseus to defend us, and as to putting up a fight ourselves, we'd only show our incompetence in arms. Expel them, yes, if I only had the power. The whole thing's out of hand, insufferable. My house is being plundered. Is this courtesy? Where is your indignation? Where is your shame? Think of the talk of the islands all around us, and fear the wrath of the gods, or they may turn and send you some devilry. Friends, by Olympian Zeus and holy justice, that holds men in assembly and sets them free, make an end of this. Let me lament in peace my private loss, or did my father Odysseus ever do injury to the armed Achaean? Is this your way of taking it out on me, giving free rein to these young men? I might better, see my treasure and livestock taken over by you all. Then, if you fed on them, I'd have some remedy. And when we met in public in the town, I press my claim you might make restitution. This way you hurt me when my hands are tied. And in hot anger now, he threw the staff to the ground. His eyes grown bright with tears, a wave of sympathy ran through the crowd, all hushed, and no one there had the audacity to answer harshly. Except Antinos, who said, "What high and mighty talk, Telemachus! Control your temper. You went to shame us and humiliate us, but you show how the suitors are to blame. Or not to blame. It is your own dear, incomparably cunning mother. For 3 years now, and it will soon be 4, she has been breaking the hearts of the Achaeans, holding out hope to all and sending promises to each man privately, but thinking otherwise. Here is an instance of her trickery. She had her great loom standing in the hall of the fine warp of some vast fabric on it. We were attending her, and she said to us, 'Young men, my suitors, now my lord is dead, let me finish my weaving before I marry, or else my thread will have been spun in vain. It is a shroud I weave for Lord Laertes, when cold death comes to lay him on his bier. The country wives would hold me in dishonor if he, with all his fortune, lay unshrouded. We have men's hearts, to touch them we agreed.' So every day she wove on the great loom, but every night by torchlit she unwove it. And so for 3 years she deceived the Achaeans. And when the seasons brought the fourth around, one of her maids, who knew the secret, told us. We found her unraveling the splendid shroud. She had to finish then, although she hated it. Now here is the suitor's answer. You and all the Achaeans mark it well. Dismiss your mother from the house, or make her marry the man her father names and she prefers. Does she intend to keep us dangling forever? She may rely too long on Athena's gifts, talent and handicraft, and a clever mind. So cunning, history cannot show the like among the ringleted ladies Achaea. Mycenae with her cohort, Alcmene, Tyro, wits like Penelope, never were before. But this time, well, she made poor use of them. For here are suitors eating up your property. As long as she holds out a plan some god put in her mind, she makes a name for herself. But you can feel the loss it means for you. Our own affairs can wait. We'll never go anywhere else until she takes an Achaean to her liking. Nope, that looks like it's on my end. Don't know why. It's like my internet lately has been just trash. Okay, I restarted the stream, which also sadly restarts my video, but that's. Are we back? Hello, waving. Thank you, Stream Elements. I am live. Are we back? Maybe. I don't know why OBS has been doing this to me lately. Like, I don't think it might be my internet. It's really hard to say if it's like an OBS issue or an internet issue. But I have been having some issues lately, like almost every stream this past month. Really annoying. Are we back? We should be. I've like restarted it. Hello, are we back? I think we're fine. Let us continue. Where were we? Okay. But clear-headed, Telemachus replied, Antinos, can I banish against her will the mother who bore me and took care of me? My father is either dead or far away, but dearly I should pay for this. At Icaros' hands, if I ever sent her back. The powers of darkness would requite it too. My mother's parting curse would call hell's furies to punish me, along with the scorn of men. No, I can never give the word for this, but if your hearts are capable of shame, leave my great hall and take your dinner elsewhere. Consume your own stores, turn and turn about. Use one another's houses, if you choose to slaughter one man's livestock and pay nothing. This is rapine, and by the eternal gods, I beg Zeus you shall get what you deserve. Slaughter here and nothing paid for it. You already said that earlier, buddy. Just reharping on that, I guess. Now Zeus, who views the wide world, sent a sign to him. Launching a pair of eagles from the mountain crest in gliding flight down the soft blowing wind, wingtip to wingtip, quivering, taunt companions, till high above the assembly of many voices, they wield their dense wings, beating and in havoc dropped on the heads of the crowd, deathly omen, wielding their talons, tearing cheeks and throats, then veered away on the right hand through the city. Astonished, gaping after the birds, the men felt their hearts flood, foreboding things to come. That's crazy. And now they heard the old lord Hilatherses, son of Masterdes, keenest among the old at reading bird flight into accurate speech. Of course. In his anxiety for them, he rose and said, Hear me, Athicans, hear what I have to say, and may I hope to open the suitors' eyes to the black wave towering over them. Odysseus will not be absent from his family long. He is already near, carrying in him a bloody doom for all these men in sorrow, for many more on our high sea mark. Ithaca, let us think how to stop it. Let the suitors drop their suit, they had better, without delay. I am old enough to know a sign when I see one, and I say all has come to pass for Odysseus, as I foretold when the Argives massed on Troy. And he, the great tactician, joined the rest. My forecast was that after 19 years, many blows weathered, all his shipmates lost, himself unrecognized by anyone, he would come home. I see this all fulfilled. But Polybos' son, Eurymachus, retorted, "Old man, go tell the omens for your children at home, and try to keep them out of trouble. I am more fit to interpret this than you are. Bird life aplenty is found in the sunny air, not all of it significant. As for Odysseus, he perished far from home. You should have perished with him. Then we'd be spared this nonsense in assembly, as good as telling Telemachus to rage on. Do you think you can gamble on a gift from him? Here is what I foretell, and it's quite certain. If you, with what you know of ancient lore, encourage bitterness in this young man, it means for him only the more frustration. He can do nothing, whatever, with two eagles. And as for you, old man, we'll fix a penalty that you will groan to pay. Before the whole assembly, I advised Telemachus to send his mother to her father's house. Let them arrange her wedding there and fix a portion suitable for a valued daughter. Until he does this, courtship is our business. Vexing though it may be, we fear no one, certainly not Telemachus with his talk, and we care nothing for your divining uncle. Useless talk. You win more hatred by it. We'll share his meat, no thanks or fee to him, as long as she delays and maddens us. Is a long, long time we have been waiting in rivalry for this beauty. We could have gone elsewhere and found ourselves very decent wives. Clear-headed Telemachus replied to this. Eurymachus and noble suitors all, I am finished with appeals and argument. The gods know and the Achaeans know these things. But give me a fast ship and a crew of 20 who will see through a voyage out and back. I'll go to sandy Pylos, then to Sparta, for news of father since he sailed from Troy. Some traveler's tale, perhaps a rumored fame, issued from Zeus himself into the world. If he's alive and beating his way home, I might hold out for another weary year. But if they tell me that he's dead and gone, then I can come back to my own dear country, raise a mound for him and burn his gear, with all the funeral honors that befit him, and give my mother to another husband. The boy sat down in silence. Next to stand was Mentor, comrade in arms of the Prince Odysseus, an old man now. Odysseus left him authority over his house and slaves, to guard them well. In his concern he spoke to the assembly. Hear me, Ithacans, hear what I have to say. Let no man holding scepter as a king be thoughtful mind, kindly, or virtuous. Let him be cruel and practice evil ways. It is so clear that no one here remembers how like a gentle father Odysseus ruled you. I find it less revolting that the suitors carry their malice into violent acts. At least they stake their lives when they go pillaging the house of Odysseus. Their lives upon it, he will not come again. What sickens me is to see the whole community sitting still and near a voice or a hand raised against them. A mere handful compared with you. Leocritos, Eonor's son, replied to him. Mentor, what mischief are you raking up? Will this crowd risk the sword's edge over a dinner? Suppose Odysseus himself, indeed, came in and found the suitors at his table. He might be hot to drive them out. What then? Never would he enjoy his wife again. The wife who loves him well. He'd only bring down abject death on himself against these odds. Madness to talk of fighting in either case. Now let all present go about their business. Halitherses and Mentor will speed the traveler. They can help him. They were his father's friends. I rather think he will be sitting here a long time yet, waiting for news on Ithaca. That seafaring he spoke of is beyond him. On this note, they were quick to end their parley. The assembly broke up, everyone went home. The suitors home to Odysseus' house again. But Telemachus walked down among the shore, and washed his hands in the foam of the grey sea. Then said his prayer. O God of yesterday, guest in our house, who told me to take ship on the hazy sea for news of my lost father, Listen to me, be near me. The Achaeans only wait or hope to hinder me, the damned insolent suitors most of all. Athena was nearby and came to him, putting on Mentor's figure in his tone, a warm voice and a lucid flight of words. You'll never be faint-hearted or a fool, Telemachus. You have your father's spirit. He finished what he cared to say, and what he took in hand he brought to pass. The sea routes will yield their distance to his true son, Penelope's true son. I doubt another's luck would hold so far. The son is rare who measures with his father, and 1 in 1,000 is a better man. You will have the sap and wit and prudence for you. Get that from Odysseus. Why is the bitrate dropping again? Hold on. I don't think he played.
One, two, three, my baby don't mess around because she loves me.
I restarted my entire OBS. So well, I don't know. There's a chance. Oh, is it chugging again? What is happening? Oh, good puzzle. Okay. Okay. There is a chance that, so with my Stream Deck, I have a setup of, like, it'll open, like, 17 tabs for me, you know, for when I start streaming. There's a chance it's not opening OBS the way I want it to. Can I get it to open it in administration? Dum. Maybe 64-bit? Or it's a case of I needed to change my bitrate. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, this is going to be annoying to edit. That's fine. Let's continue, shall we? I started stream at 3. It's already been roughly 2.5 hours, I think. We're 30 pages in. We can at least finish this. Maybe we'll get, yeah, maybe we'll get to like here-ish. To page 55. That sounds doable. As long as my internet cooperates and OBS cooperates. Swear to God. Um, I don't remember where we were. The sea routes will yield their distances to his true son, Penelope's true son. I doubt another's luck would hold so far. The son is rare who measures with his father, and 1 in 1,000 is a better man. But you will have the sap and wit and prudence, for you get that from Odysseus, to give you a fair chance of winning through. So never mind the suitors and their ways. There is no judgment in them. Neither do they know anything of death and the black terror close upon them. Doomsday all them all. Doomsday on them all. You need not linger over going to sea. I sailed beside your father in the old days. I'll find a ship for you and help you sail her. So go on home, as if to join the suitors. But get provisions ready in containers, wine in 2-handled jugs, and barley meal, like staying power of oarsmen. In skin bags, watertight, I'll go the rounds and call a crew of volunteers together. Hundreds of ships are beached on sea-grit Ithaca. Let me but choose the soundest, old or new. We'll rig her and take her out to the broad sea. This was the divine speech Telemachus heard from Athena, Zeus's daughter. He stayed no longer, but took his heartache home, and found the robust suitors there at work, skinning goats and roasting pigs in the courtyard. Antinos came straight over, laughing at him, and took him by the hand with a bold greeting. High-handed Telemachus, control your temper. Come on, get over it. No more grim thoughts. But feast and drink with me the way you used to. The Achaeans will attend to all you ask for. Ship crew and crossing to the Holy Land of Pylos for the news about your father. Telemachus replied with no confusion. Atinos, I cannot see myself again taking a quiet dinner in this company. Isn't it enough that you could strip my house under my very nose when I was young? Now that I know, being grown, what others say. I understand it all, and my heart is full. I'll bring black doom upon you if I can, either in Pylos, if I go, or in this country. As someone's passenger, I have no ship, no oarsman, and it suits you that I have none. Calmly he drew his hand from Atinos' hand. At this, the suitors, while they dressed their meat, began to exchange loud mocking talk about him. One young, top lofty, gallant set the tone. Well, think of that. Telemachus has a mind to murder us. He's going to lead avengers out of Pylos, or Sparta maybe. Oh, he's wild to do it, or else he'll try the fat land of Ephyria. He can get poison there and bring it home. Doctor the wine jar and dispatch us all. Another took the cue. Well, now, who knows? He might be lost at sea, just like Odysseus, knocking around in a ship far from his friends. What a lot of trouble that would give us. Making the right division of his things. We'd keep his house as dowry for his mother and the man who marries her. That was the drift of it. Telemachus went on through to the storeroom of his father. A great vault where gold and bronze lay piled along with chests of clothes and fragrant oil, and there were jars of earthenware in rows holding an old wine. Mellow, unmixed, and rare, cool stood the jars against the wall, kept for whatever day Odysseus, worn by hardships, might come home. The double folding doors were tightly locked and guarded night and day by the serving woman, Euryclea, granddaughter of Pisanor, in all her duty vigilant and shroud. Telemachus called her to the storeroom, saying, "Nurse, get a few two-handed traveling jugs filled up with wine, the second best, not that you keep for your unlucky lord and king, hoping he may have slipped away from death, and might yet come again, royal Odysseus. 12 amphorae will do. Seal them up tight, and pour out barley into leather bags. 20 bushels of barley, meal ground fine. Now keep this to yourself. Collect these things, and after dark, when mother has retired and gone upstairs to bed, I'll come for them. I sail to sandy Pylos, then to Sparta, to see what news there is of father's voyage." His loving nurse, Euryclea, gave a cry, and tears sprang to her eyes as she wailed softly, "Dear child, whatever put this in your head? Why do you want to go so far in the world? And you are only darling. Lord Odysseus died in some strange place far from his homeland. Think how, when you have turned your back, these men will plot to kill you and share all your things. Stay with your own dear. Do. Why would you suffer hardship and homelessness on the wild sea?" But seeing all clear, Telemachus replied, "Take heart, nurse. There's a god behind this plan, and you must swear to keep it from my mother until the 11th day, or 12th, or till she misses me or hears that I am gone. You must not hear her lovely skin lamenting." So the old woman vowed by all the gods, and vowed again to carry out his wishes, that she filled up the amphorae with wine and sifted barley meal into leather bags. Telemachus rejoined the suitors. Meanwhile, the goddess with great eyes had other business. Disguised as Telemachus, she roamed the town, taking each likely man aside and telling him, "Meet us at nightfall at the ship." Indeed, she asked Noemon, Phaeronus' wealthy son, to lend her a fast ship, and he complied. Now, when at sundown shadows crossed the lanes, she dragged the cutter to the sea and launched it, fitted out with tough sea-going gear, and tied it up away at the harbor's edge. The crewmen gathered, sent there by the goddess. Then it occurred to the grey-eyed goddess Athena to pass inside the house of the hero Odysseus, showering a sweet drowsiness on the suitors, whom she had presently wandered in their wine. And soon as they could hold their cups no longer, they straggled off to find their beds in town, eyes heavy-lidded, laden down with sleep. Then to Telemachus, the great-eyed goddess appeared again with Mentor's form and voice, calling him out of the lofty emptied hall. "Telemachus, your crew of fighting men is ready at the oars and waiting for you. Come on, no point in holding up the sailing." And Pallas Athena turned like the wind, running ahead of him. He followed in her footsteps down to the seaside, where they found the ship and oarsmen, with flowing hair at the water's edge. Telemachus now stood, now strong in the magic, cried, "Come with me, friends, and get our rations down. They are all packed at home, and my own mother knows nothing. Only one maid was told." He turned and led the way, and they came after, carried and stowed all in the well-trimmed ship, as the dear son of Odysseus commanded. Telemachus then stepped abroad. Athena took her position aft, and he sat by her. The two stroke oars cast off the stern hawsers and vaulted over the gunwales to the benches. Great-eyed Athena stirred them a following wind, souging from the northwest to the wine-dark sea. And, as he felt the wind, Telemachus called to all hands to break out mast and sail. They pushed the fore-mast high and stepped it firm amidst in the box, and made fast the forestays, then hoisted up the white sail on its halyards until the wind caught, booming in the sail, and a flushing wave sang backward from the bow on either side as the ship got away from her, on her, holding her steady course. Now they made all secure in the fast black ship, and setting out the wine bowls all abrim, they made libation to the gods, the undying, the ever new, most of all to the grey-eyed daughter of Zeus, the prow sheared through the night. On. Okay, one more little chapter, I think. Okay. Is this an old man burning? What is this? The Lord of the Western approaches. The sun rose on the flawless brimming sea into a sky all brazen, all one brightening for gods immortal and for mortal men, on plowlands kind with grain. In facing sunrise, the voyagers now lay off Pylos town, compact stronghold of Neleus. On the shore, black bulls were being offered by the people, the blue-maned gods, who makes the islands tremble. 9 congregations, each 500 strong, led out 9 bulls apiece to sacrifice. Taking the tripes to eat while on their altars, thigh bones and fat lay burning for the god. Here they put in, furled sail, and beached the ship. But Telemachus hung back in disembarking, so that Athena turned and said, "Not the least shyness now, Telemachus. You come across the open sea for this, to find out where the great earth hides your father, and what the doom was that he came upon. Go to old Nestor, master charioteer, so we may broach the shore house of this mind. Ask him with courtesy, and in his wisdom he will tell you history and no lies." But clear-headed Telemachus replied, "Mentor, how can I do it? How approach him? I have no practice in elaborate speeches, and for a young man to interrogate an old man seems disrespectful." But the grey-eyed goddess said, "Reason and heart will give you words, Telemachus, and a spirit will counsel others. I should say the gods were never indifferent to your life." She went on quickly, and he followed her to where the men of Pylos had their altars. Nestor appeared enthroned among his sons, while friends around them skewered the red beef or held it scorching. When they saw the strangers, a hail went up, and all the crowd came forward, calling out invitations to the feast. P.S. Stratos in the lead, the young prince, caught up their hands in his and gave them places on curly lambskins flat on the sea sand near Phrasmideus, his brother, and his father. He passed them bits of the food of sacrifice, and pouring wine in a golden cup, he called to Pallas Athena, daughter of Zeus. "Friend, I must ask you to invoke Poseidon. You find us at this feast, kept in his honor. Make the appointed offering then, pray, and give the honeyed wine cup to your friend, so he may do the same. He too must pray to the gods on whom all men depend, but he is just my age, you are the senior. So here I give the goblet first to you." And he put the cup of sweet wine in her hand. Athena liked his manners and the equity that gave her precedence with the cup of gold. So she besought Poseidon at some length, "Earthshaker, listen and be well disposed. Grant your petitioners everything they ask. Above all, honor to Nestor and his sons. Second, to every man of Pylos town, a fair gift in exchange for this hecatomb. Third, may Telemachus and I perform the errand on which last night we see. This was the prayer of Athena, granted in every particular by herself. She passed the beautiful wine cup to Telemachus, who tipped the wine and prayed as she had done. Meanwhile, the spits were taken off the fire, portions of crisp meat for all. They feasted, and when they had eaten and drunk their fill, at last they heard from Nestor, prince of charioteers. Now is the time, he said, for a few questions, now that our young guests have enjoyed their dinner. Who are you, strangers? Where are you sailing from, and where to, down the highways of sea water? Have you some business here? Or are you now reckless wanderers of the sea, like those corsairs who risk their lives to prey on other men? Clear-headed Telemachus responded cheerfully, for Athena gave him heart. By her design, his quest for news about his father's wandering would bring him fame in the world's eyes. He said, Nestor, pride of Achaeans, Menelaus' son, you ask where we are from, and I can tell you. Our home port is under Mount Neon, Ithaca. We are not here on Ithacan business, though, but on my own. I want news of my father, Odysseus, known for his great heart, and I will comb the wide world for it. People say he fought along with you when Troy was taken. As to the other men who fought that war, we know where each one died and how he died, but Zeus allotted my father death in mystery. No one can say for sure where he was killed, whether some hostile landsman or by the sea. The storm waves or the deep sea got the best of him. This is why I come to you for help. Tell me of his death, sir, if perhaps you witnessed it or have heard some wanderer tell the tale. The man was born for trouble. Spare me no part of it for kindness' sake, but put the scene before me as you saw it. If ever Odysseus, my noble father, served you by promise kept or work accomplished, in the land of Troy, where you Achaeans suffered, recall those things for me the way they were. Then Nestor, prince of charioteers, made answer. Dear friend, you take me back to all the trouble we went through in that country. We Achaeans, rough days aboard ship on the cloudy sea, cruising away for pillage after Achilles. Rough days of battle around Priam's town. Our losses then, so many good men gone. Ares, great Aias lies there, Achilles lies there, Patroclus too, the wondrous counselor, and my own strong and princely son, Antilochus, fastest man of them all, born fighter. Other miseries and many we endured there. Could any mortal men tell the whole story? Not if you stayed 5 years or 6 to hear how hard it was for the flower of the Achaeans. You go home weary, for the tale untold. Think, we were there 9 years and we tried everything. All stratagems against them, up to the bitter end that Zeus begrudged us. And as to stratagems no man would claim Odysseus' gift for those. He had no rivals, your father, at the tricks of war. Your father? Well, I must say I marvel at the sight of you. Your manner of speech could be more like his. Couldn't be more like his. One would say no. No boy could speak so well. And all that time in Ilion, he and I were never at odds in council or assembly. Saw things the same way, had one mind between us, all the good advice we gave the Argives. But when we plundered Priam's town and tower, took to the ships, God scattered the Achaeans. He had a mind to make homecoming hard for them, seeing they would not think straight nor behave, or some would not. So evil days came on them, and she who had been angered, Zeus's dangerous gray-eyed daughter, did it, starting a fight between the sons of Atreus. First they were fools enough to call assembly at sundown, unheard of hour. The Achaean soldiers turned out, soaked with wine, to hear talk about it from their commanders. Menelaus arranged them to get organized. Time to ride home on the sea's broad back, he said. But Agamemnon wouldn't hear of it. Wanted to hold the troops, make sacrifice, hecatomb, something to pacify Athena's rage. Folly again to think that he could move her. Will you change the will of the everlasting gods in a night or a day's time? The two men stood there hammering at each other. The army got to its feet with a roar. No decision, wanting it both ways. That night, no one slept well, everyone cursing someone else. Here was the bane from Zeus. At dawn, we dragged our ships to the lordy water, stowed aboard all our plunder, and the slave women in their low hip girdle. But half the army elected to stay behind, with Agamemnon as their corpse commander. The other half embarked and pulled away. We made good time, the huge sea smothered before us, and held our rights when we reached Tenedos, being wild for home. But Zeus, not willing yet, now cruelly set us at odds a second time. And one lot turned, put back in the rolling ships under command of the subtle captain Odysseus. Their notion was to please Lord Agamemnon. Not I. I fled with every ship I had. I knew fate had some devilment brewing there. Diomedes roused his company and fled too, and later Menelaus, the red-haired captain, caught up with us at Lesbos. While we mulled over the long sea route, unsure whether to lay our course onward toward keeping the Isle of Syria off to port, or inside Chios, casting by windy. We asked for a sign from heaven, and the sign came to cut across the open sea to Boa. Lose no time cutting our ills behind us. The wind freshened astern, the ships ran behind the wind on paths of the deep sea fish, making Eurastos before dawn. We thanked Poseidon with many a charred thigh bone for that crossing. On the fourth day, Diomedes' company, under full sail, put in at Argos. And I held on for Pylos, the fair wind. Once heaven set it blowing, never failed. So this, dear child, was how I came from Troy, and saw no more of the others, lost or saved. You are welcome to all I've heard since then at home. I have no reason to keep it from you. The Myrmidon spear fighters returned, they say, under the son of lion-hearted Achilles. And so did Poeas' great son, Philoctetes. Idomeneus brought his company back to Crete. The sea took not a man from him of all who lived through the long war. And even as far away as Ithaca, you've heard of Agamemnon, how he came home, how Aegisthus waited to destroy him, but paid a bitter price for it in the end. That is a good thing now, for a man to leave a son behind, like him, like the son who punished Aegisthus for the murder of his great father. You two are tall and well set up, I see. Be brave, you too, so men in times to come will speak well of you. Then Telemachus said, Nestor, pride of Achaeans, Neleus' son, that was revenge, and far and wide the Achaeans will tell the tale, song for generations. I wish the gods would buckle his arms on me. I'd be revenged for outrage on my insidious and brazen enemies. But no such happy lot was given to me, or to my father. Still I must hold fast. To this Lord Nestor of Verenia said, "My dear young friend, now that you speak of it, I hear a crowd of suitors for your mother lives with you, uninvited, making trouble. Now tell me how you take this. Do the people side against you, hearkening to some oracle? Who knows, your father might come home some day, alone or backed by troops, and have it out with them? If Grey Eye Athena loved you, the way she did Odysseus in the old days, in Troy country where we all went through so much, never have I seen the gods help any man as openly as Athena did your father. Well, as I say, if she cared for you that way, there would be those to quit this marriage game." But prudently Telemachus replied, "I can't think what you say will ever happen, sir. It's a dazzling hope, but not for me. It could not be, even if the gods willed it." At this, grey-eyed Athena broke in, saying, "What strange talk you permit yourself, Telemachus? A god could save the man by simply wishing it, from the farthest shore in the world. If I were he, should prefer to suffer years at sea and then be safe at home. Better that than a knife at my hearthside, where Agamemnon found it, killed by adulterers. Though as for death, of course, all men must suffer it. The gods may love a man, but they can't help him when cold death comes to lay on him his briar." Telemachus replied, "Mentor, grievously though we miss my father, why go on as if that homecoming could happen? You know the gods had settled it already, years ago, when dark death came for him. But there is something else I imagine Nestor can tell us. Knowing as he does the ways of men, they say his rule goes back over 3 generations. So long, so old, it seems death cannot touch him. Nestor, Eleus' son, true sage, say how did the lord of the great plains Agamemnon die? What was the trick Aegisthus used to kill the better man?" And we're dropping again. Obius, why? What happened? OBS, please. I'm literally just trying to read. It's gonna be so annoying to. Hello? Are we back? I think so. Again, still don't know if it's an internet thing or not. But OBS just like disconnected and then reconnected all on its own. It can't be my computer because I am reading a physical book. And my CPU is at 1%. So I don't know. Let's try and continue and just get through this. I was thinking if OBS behaved, I might read another chapter, but I don't know. OBS is not behaving. What was the trick Aegisthus used to kill the better man? Menelaus? Where was he? Not at Argos in Achaea, but blown off course, held up in some far country. Is that what gave the killer nerve to strike? Lord Nestor of Gurania made answer. Well now, my son, I'll tell you the whole story. You know yourself what would have come to pass if red-haired Menelaus, back from Troy, had caught Aegisthus in that house alive. There would have been no burial mound for him, no dogs and carrion birds to huddle on him in the fields beyond the wall, not a soul bewailing him for the great wrong he committed. Oh, that scared me. Welcome back. Stream has been in and out. While we were hard-pressed in the war at Troy, he stayed safe inland in the grazing country, making light talk to win Agamemnon's queen. But the lady Clytemnestra in the first days rebuffed him, being faithful still. Then too she had at hand as her companion minstrel Agamemnon left attending her. Charged with her care when he took ship for Troy, then came the fated hour she gave in. Her lover tricked the poet and marooned him on a bare island for the seabirds picking, took her home as he and she desired. Many thigh bones he burned on the gods' altars, and many a woven and golden ornament hung to bedeck them, his satisfaction. He had not thought life held such glory for him. Now Menelaus and I sailed home together on friendly terms from Troy, but when we came off Sunion Point in Attica, the ships still running free, Monitor's ship Brontus, the steersman of Menelaus' ship, fell over with the death grip on the tiller. Some unseen arrow from Apollo hit him. No man handled a ship better than he did, on a high wind at sea. So Menelaus put down his longing to get on, and landed to give this man full honor and funeral. His own luck turned then, out on the wine-dark sea in the murmuring hulls again. He made Cape Malea, but Zeus who views the wide world sent a gloom over the ocean. Howling gale came on the seas increasing, mountainous, parting the ships and driving half toward Crete, where the Cydonians live by Ardanos River. Off Gorton's coastline in the misty sea, a reef, a razorback cuts through the water, and every westerly piles up a pounding surf along the left side going towards Phaestus. Big seas buffeted back by the narrow stone. They were blown here and fought in vain for sea room. The ships kept going in to their destruction, slammed on the reef, crews were saved. But now those 5 that weathered it got off to the southward, taken by wind and current onto Egypt. And there Menelaus stayed. He made a fortune in sea traffic among those distant races. But while he did so, the foul crime was planned and carried out in Argos by Aegisthus, who ruled over golden Mycenae 7 years. 7 long years, Agamemnon dead. He held the people down before the vengeance, but in the 8th year, back from exile in Attica, Orestes killed the snake, killed his father. He gave his hateful mother and her soft man a tomb together, and proclaimed the funeral day a festival day for all the Argive people. That day, Lord Menelaus, the great war cry, made port with all the gold his ships could carry. And this should give you pause, my son. Don't stay too long away from home. Leaving your treasure there and brazen suitors near, they'll squander all you have or take it from you. And then how will your journey serve? I urge you, though, to call on Menelaus. He being but lately home from distant parts in the wide world, a man could well despair of getting home at all if winds blew him. Over the great South Sea, that weary waste, even the wintering birds delay. One winter more before the northward crossing. Well, take your ship and crew and go by water, or if you'd rather go by land, here are horses, a car, and my own sons for company. As far as the ancient land of Lacedaemon and Menelaus, the red-haired captain there. Ask him with courtesy, and in his wisdom he will tell you history and no lies. While Nestor talked, the sun went down, and the sky in gloom came on the land. And now the grey-eyed goddess Athena said, Sir, this is all most welcome and to the point, but why not slice the bulls' tongues now and mix libations for Poseidon and the gods? Then we can all retrieve. High time we did. The light is going under the dark world's rim. Better not linger at the sacred feast. When Zeus's daughters spoke, they turned to listen. Soon the squires brought water for their hands, while stewards filled the wine bowls and poured out a fresh cup full for every man. The company stood up and flung the tongues in a shower of wine over the flames that drank their thirst away. Now, finally, Telemachus and Athena bestirred themselves, turning away to the ship. But Nestor put a hand on each and said, Now Zeus forbid, other gods as well, that you should spend the night on board. Leave me as though I were a pauper without a stick. No blankets in this house, no piles of rugs, no sleeping soft for host or guest. Far from it. I have all these, blankets and deep piled rugs. And while I live, the only son of Odysseus will never make his bed on a ship's deck. No, not while sons of mine are left at home to welcome any guest who comes to visit us. The grey-eyed goddess Athena answered him, You are very kind, sir, and Telemachus should do as you ask. That is the best thing. He will go with you and will spend the night under your roof. But I must join our ship and talk to the crew to keep their spirits up, since I'm the only senior in the company. The rest are boys who shipped for friendship's sake. No older than Telemachus, any of them. Let me sleep out then by the black hull's side, this night at least. At daybreak I'll be off to see the Cauconians about a debt they owe me. An old one and no trifle. As for your guest, send him off in a car with one of your sons, and give him thoroughbreds, a racing team. Even as she spoke, Athena left them, seeming a sea hawk in a clap of wings, and all the Achaeans in Pylos town looked up astounded. She just turned into a bird, don't worry about it. Awed then by what his eyes had seen, the old man took Telemachus' hand and said warmly, My dear child, I can have no fears for you, no doubt about your conduct or your heart. If at your age the gods are your companions. Here we had someone from Olympus, clearly the glorious daughter of Zeus, his third child, who held your father dear among the Argives. O lady, hear me, great and illustrious name. To me and to my children and my dear wife, a noble heifer shall be yours in sacrifice, one that no man has ever yoked or driven. My gift to you, her horns all sheathed in gold." So he ended praying, and Athena heard him. Then Nestor, Urania led them all, his sons and sons-in-laws, to his great house, and in they went to the famous hall of Nestor, taking their seats on thrones and easy chairs, while the old man mixed water in a wine bowl. With sweet red wine mellowed 11 years, for his housekeeper uncapped the jar. He mixed and poured his offering, repeating prayers to Athena, daughter of royal Zeus. The others made libation and drank deep. Then all the company went to their quarters, and Nestor of Gerenia showed Telemachus under the echoing eastern entrance hall to a fine bed near the bed of captain of spearmen, unmarried son. Then he lay down in his own inner chamber, where his dear faithful wife had smothered his bed. When dawn spread out fingertips of rose, Lord Nestor of Gerenia Charity left his room for a throne of polished stone, white and gleaming as though with oil, that stood before the main gate of the palace. Elias here had sat before him, masterful in kingship, and Elias long ago a prey to death, gone down to the night of the underworld. So Nestor held his throne and scepter now, lord of the western approaches to Achaia, and presently his sons came out to join him. Leaving the palace, Echephron and Stratios, Perseus and Artios, and Thresmedes, and after them the prince Yes, bringing along with. That's a lot of sons. Seeing all present, the old Lord Nestor said, "Dear sons, here is my wish, and do it briskly to please the gods. Athena, first of all, my guest in daylight at our holy feast. One of you must go for a young heifer, have the cowherd lead her from the pasture. Another call on Lord Telemachus' ship, to invite his crewmen, leaving 2 behind, and someone else again send for the goldsmith. They are gild the horn. The rest stay here together. Tell the servants a ritual feast will be prepared in hall. Tell them to bring seats, firewood, and fresh water." Before he finished, they were about these errands. The heifer came from the pasture. Crewmen of Telemachus from the ship. The smith arrived bearing the tools of his trade, hammer and anvil, precision tong, handled fiery gold with Athena came, gods come, numinous to the rites. I'll know that. The smith now gloved each horn in pure foil, beaten out of the gold that Nestor gave him. Glory and delight for the goddess's eyes, while Echephron and Stratios held the horns. Aratos brought clear, lustrial water in a bowl quivering with fresh cut flowers, a basket of barley in his other hand. Thresmedes, who could stand his ground in war, stood ready with a sharp 2-bladed axe, the stroke of sacrifice, and Perseus held a bowl for the blood. Now Nestor, stirring the barley grains and water drops, pronounced his invocation to burned a pinch of rice. Prayers were said, all the grain was scattered. Great-hearted Thresmedes flash swung the axe, and at one blow cutting through the neck tendons, Heifer's spirit failed, and all the women gave a wail of joy, daughters, daughters-in-law, and Lymanos, eldest daughter. But the men still held the heifer, stored her up from the wide earth where the living go their ways, until Piestratos cut her throat across, the black blood ran, life ebbed from her marrow, The carcass now sank down, a disjointed shoulder and thigh bone, wrapping them in fat, 2 layers, folded with raw strips of flesh. These offerings Nestor burned on the split wood fire, moistened with red wine. His sons took up 5 tined forks in their hands, while the altar flame ate through the bones and bits of tripe went around. Then came the carving of the quarters. This is a lot of talk about how they are sacrificing a cow, but I get it. Uh, and they spitted morsels of lean meat on the long, sharp tines, broiled them at arm's length on the fire. Polly cast, a fair girl, Nestor's youngest, had meanwhile given a bath to Telemachus, bathing him first, then rubbing him with oil. She held fine clothes and a cloak to put around him, and he came godlike from the bathing place. Then out he went to take his place with Nestor. When the best cuts were broiled and off the spits, all sat down to banquet. Gentle squires kept every golden wine cup brimming full, so they feasted to their heart's content, till the prince of charioteers commanded, "Sons, harness the blood mares for Telemachus, hitch up the car and let him take the road." They swung out smartly to do the work and hooked the handsome horses to a chariot shaft. The mistress of the stores brought up provisions of bread and wine with victuals fit for king. And Telemachus stepped up the painted car. Just at his elbow stood Pisistrato, captain of spearmen, reins in hand. He gave a flick to the horses, and with streaming manes they ran for the open country. The tall town of Pylos sank behind them in the distance, as all day long they kept the harness shaking. The sun was low, and shadows crossed the lanes when they arrived at Hiera, where Diocles, son of Ortholocos, whom Aphaeus fathered, welcomed the young men. And they slept the night. But up when the young dawn's fingertips of rose opened in the east, they hitched the team once more to the painted car, and steered out eastward through the echoing gate, whipping their fresh horses into a run. And stream is dropping again. That day they made the grainlands like Daemon, whereas the horses held to a fast clip. They kept on to their journey's end. Behind them the sun went down and all the roads grew dark. And I think that's where we're going to leave it because my stream is just not happening. And I don't know why. Okay. Okay, well, and that doesn't want to change to my other thing. Nothing is working. Don't understand. Thanks for joining, I guess. And if you're watching the VOD, that's probably the best way to watch this. Oh, goodness. Okay. I think that'll be all. Again, because OBS is dropping frames like crazy. And I don't think it's my internet. Mainly because all my tabs and stuff are loading fine. Very weird. Why is it doing this? Okay, I don't know if stream's gonna come back. I will probably just end it here. I think stream for about 3 hours, roughly. I might be back Monday. I don't know. I might be back Monday. We shall see. But I hope you enjoyed the beginning. Oh, that was my keyboard. Beginning of the Odyssey. There's roughly 500 pages, actually almost exactly 5. That's 502-ish. And we just got through 50. So maybe 10 streams of this? We'll be done in a couple of months. At minimum, we'll be done in 10 weeks, but probably not. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Bye.